still here. Right. Save your strength. You're going to need it for the jog home later. I'm a member of the poor community. It's not that bad, though. I think there's some benefits to being poor. I'm usually the hottest bitch on the bus. That helps. That's definitely a perk I enjoy. There's some other advantages to being poor as well. It makes it a lot easier to get away with tax fraud. Nobody's looking for me and my monopoly money. Absolutely not. I used to do my taxes. I used to look forward to doing my taxes because I would get a refund. I was like, I don't understand why people complain about this all the time. I just answer some tedious questions about my job for an hour. A few months later, I get a check in the mail. It's like my grandparents never died. But then something weird happened a few years ago. I didn't get any less poor, but I finished filling out my taxes, and at the end the government was like, actually this time you owe us money. I was like, cool, I'm just not gonna click submit. I'm just gonna close the laptop. What are you gonna do about it? I put the tape over my camera, I know my rights. And they're never gonna see that money from me, y'all. And they shouldn't, it's only $200. That means nothing to the US government. That can barely buy a pair of fuzzy dice for a tank. But to me, an impoverished person, that money is very meaningful. $200 can pay for an awful lot of drugs. The good kind too, the family pack. That's right, we're stocking up on drugs now. We're meal prepping drugs. It's called being responsible. I'm actually doing slightly less drugs these days. I had to quit smoking weed recently. No one likes that. People usually boo me when I say that here, which I think is funny because that doesn't happen with other drugs. You say quit heroin, people throw you a parade. You say quit weed, people are like, stop being a pussy! Like, you're my doctor. It is sad, though, that I had to quit weed because I still want to hang out with the stoners. I still identify with stoner culture. Just because weed gives me panic attacks sometimes now doesn't mean I'm not still passionate about sitting down. Alright, I may not be high all the time anymore, but I'm still going to find a way to work aliens into the conversation. It's going to come up. I don't care about your kid's baptism. I've got theories. I may not be waking and baking before work these days, but I'm still going to do a really bad job. Just got to stay consistent. I don't know if y'all can tell by looking at me, but I have received the sex talk already. Don't get jealous. I got the sex talk from a cassette tape series called Passport to Purity, which was strange because I didn't realize that purity was a destination, let alone that it had border control. And this tape series was narrated by one of those first name pastors, Pastor Craig, just a human soul patch of a man. And got him on watch lists everywhere. He taught me a lot about life, love, etc. But the thing that stuck with me the longest is he told me, your virginity is like a water balloon. And if you have sex before marriage, you lose all the water from that water balloon. But other activities can also reduce the amount of water in your water balloon. Every time you give a boy a little kiss and a little hug and a little touch and you perch your buttocks on his knee, you grace your hand against his at the water fountain, you make direct eye contact after 7 p.m. on a school night, you lose a little bit more water from that water balloon. And then boom, it's your wedding night. And you only have a half a water balloon to give your husband. Now is that a good gift? To give your husband on your wedding night? And I just remember thinking, I don't even think a full water balloon would be a good gift. We're getting married, don't prank me right now. This is not the wet I'm trying to be tonight. Read the room. I did grow up to be a whore online after that. Thank you so much. I'm not ashamed to talk about it, obviously. See, I'm not embarrassed that I used to have an OnlyFans. I'm embarrassed that I only made $40. That's the part I lie about at family reunions. I don't want to disappoint Grandma. She made 80, so something to aspire to. I was a whore in real life as well as a stripper for a while. And I'm fine telling people that now that I'm not currently a stripper anymore. But when I was actively a stripper, I didn't like telling random men that I would meet that I was a stripper because it would kind of break their brains a little bit. I don't know what would happen. They would get this hazy, horny look in their eyes, kind of like glaucoma. They would start asking me weird questions in the middle of the day, like, do you ever get turned on at your job? No, sir. Do you ever get turned on investment banking? You do? Well, that sounds like a separate issue. I think that most people just don't understand that the strip club is not that sexy of a place. Once you've been there for a while, you start to notice all the unsexy elements. Like, for instance, whenever I would get in position to twerk, I would realize I look exactly like a coach giving a halftime pep talk. Which is appropriate, because a lap dance is just a pep talk for lonely middle-aged men. I was out there giving inspirational speeches for $20 a song. Like, listen up, Jeff. You're at the bottom of the second quarter of your life right now. You said you're 34, which means you're 38, but you think sunscreen is gay, so you look 45. That's okay, we can work with that. Here's the game plan. You're going to demand a raise from your boss because he's giving that company everything. You're going to tell your ex-wife 1 week in a month, that's not enough time with the kids, not if you're going to learn their middle names. You're going to start washing your face, you're going to register to vote, and you're going to open your heart to love, goddammit. Now when I say break, get back out there, Tiger, you give them hell, and you give me $20 more. It's a really cheap life coaching session. Thanks, guys. I've been Angelina, that's been the show. Come back, and 2 more great shows.